Mr. Blatt on my 1989, and this is going to be my Impact review as well as some other updates going around the wrestling view. Now, every time, wrestling world, not view. Now, every time I look this way, it's because I'm checking some of the results from Impact so I don't miss anything out. Alright, Sting versus Rhino for the World Surrender Championship title shot, 4-way. I didn't like that they didn't mention that these two went off at Genesis earlier this year, that there's like the rematch from the Genesis pay-per-view. Something else is that they could have actually built up something with that, because during the Genesis pay-per-view, not only was Rhino face and Sting was heel, and now the roles are reversed, but they had the whole angle where Rhino was injured at Genesis, and so they could have mentioned it, at least mentioned and show some highlights of that match real quick, to build a little hype for it. But I know that they need to get the tournament going. So this match, of course, wasn't match of the year contender, but it was a good, decent match. What you expect. And then the gores after the match, I like the way they played that, so that Sting could be injured later, etc., etc. And it gives obviously Rhino more heat. Now, AJ Styles versus Chris Saban, of course, fucking phenomenal match, just like any of us would expect. They went back and forth with spots, different reversals, everything. It was just great. It was fucking great. I don't know what else to say. It's beautiful to see these two match up in the modern TNA days, because God knows they used to match up all the time back in the day. So I do think it's one of their best matches, even though it was short. It's an Impact match, what you expect. And of course, AJ Styles, the right person, went over. Now, Doug Williams versus Suicide. Very unique matchup. I'm a big fan of Doug Williams ever since he competed in the World X Cup last year. And I'm a huge fucking fan of Suicide. Quick note, I love Cass. I really do. You have no idea how much I love Cass. But I hate when people automatically want them to drop the Suicide gimmick and bring back Cass, because Cass was very over. Right now, if I was Cass, I'll be very happy in the Suicide gimmick. Maybe the suit might be uncomfortable, but Suicide is so fucking over. He's getting like the push of his life. He never jobs. He's always competing hard. What's wrong with Cass wearing a mask for a couple years? Now, I do hope. Anyways, I'll talk about Suicide another time. But I love Suicide. I don't want him to go anywhere. So Doug Williams versus Suicide, great match. Again, back and forth action, and then with Mr. D'Angelo appearing, great build up for him and Suicide as well. Of course, it continues that. Suicide being suicidal, jumping towards him, and then Doug Williams sneaks the win with that beautiful rolling German suplex that he did last year in the World X Cup that I loved. Now, great match. Anybody between the two could have went over, but I like that Doug Williams went over, because it's more believable knowing that Suicide is feuding with D'Angelo at the moment. Now, something that Fool Killer mentioned, yeah, why was Rhino in this tournament? He has a match at No Surrender already. Is he gonna wrestle more than one match again, like at Bound for Glory 05? Anyways, so Doug Williams went over. Hernandez versus Homicide. This match was very interesting, and I really liked it because it told great story. It shows Homicide frustrated, very frustrated, and Hernandez was like, look, I'm sorry, man, I did what I had to do. And it kind of showed who was the better one of the two this whole time, like Hernandez. And it's good for storyline. I can picture Homicide cutting a promo later on if he turns heel about something with Hernandez, trying to steal the spotlight. AJ Styles versus Doug Williams, great fucking match. The commentary by Kurt Angle was fucking great. He put AJ over. He wasn't just biased, and he said a couple funny things like telling Mike, "Up yours," and telling Taz, "All right, see you later." And also, yeah, he just put him over, and he also put Doug Williams over. And I would love to see Angle versus Doug Williams one day, even though it probably won't happen because they'll never elevate Doug Williams from mid-cardish, but I think they could put him in the main event, if anything. Hernandez versus Sting. I love that. Sting was just getting pummeled by Hernandez, and then Homicide interfered, and I was like, oh, that's so twisted. Oh, Homicide, wow, that's crazy. Like, that's mad evil. And it turns out to be Eric Young. I don't know how I did not notice that he had no tattoos and that he wasn't dark skinned. I really thought it was Homicide now. So at first I was like, oh, Homicide's fucked up. Yo, that's crazy. And then I was like, oh, it's Eric Young. And I'm a big fan of Eric Young. I love Eric Young. Before, even, like, let's say 2007, I liked him, but like he said himself, he was like the joke of the show sometimes, most of the time. And ever since the Frontline Main Event Mafia feud started and Eric Young wasn't scared of the fireworks anymore, I really liked the direction he was going. And then when he turned heel, that was fucking gold. But I still didn't like him completely. Then he started power driving people and shaved his head and new attire and leader of World Elite. He's so fucking over in my book. Eric Young, keep going for it. Just keep going. Don't slow down. Now, Daniels, Samoa Joe in-ring confrontation. My favorite moment in Impact. It was just great. Everything they said made sense. Samoa Joe was just there with belt listening and shit. He wasn't acting like crazy and psycho, and you know, it was just a great back and forth conversation. Even though Joe didn't say much, he said a lot with his face and the crowd reaction. And then something I really liked that Daniel said that I didn't even notice, and it was a very good point. He mentioned that Samoa Joe beat most of the people in the Main Event Mafia last year during his title reign. And in April, he beat Kurt Angle at Lockdown. In May, he beat Scott Steiner in a three-way at Sacrifice. Then he beat like 4 other people at Slammiversary. And then in July and August, he beat Booker T. So I didn't even notice that until this guy actually said it. The only one that he didn't beat was Kevin Nash, and he beat Kevin Nash in May of this year. So either way, I just find that like an interesting fact. But yeah, I can't wait for this Daniel Samoa Joe match. As far as I know, I could have sworn, so if I remember right, this match was being advertised as being for the X Division title inside of a cage. Now, I do not remember where I read that, Daniels versus Joe in a cage for the title. I don't remember if it's still being advertised as that, but I definitely read it somewhere. So my thing is that this match can happen in a cage, this match can happen in the Titantron, this match can happen in the crowd, in a locker room, it can happen in a basement. It's gonna be most likely match of the night. And it's not discrediting the other matches on the card, which includes Bobby Lashley's debut, the 4-way with 2 talents from the future and 2 of the past, Suicide versus D'Angelo, if it's put on the card. It's not discrediting none of those matches. It's just Daniels versus Joe inside of a cage. Damn, that's crazy. Now, oh yeah, I like that sick full Nelson suplex, German neck thing, whatever, that he did to Daniels. Hamada and Soulja Bolt versus Tara and Christy Hemme for the tournament for the tag team titles. Yeah, good match. Right team went over. Hamada was pissed, beat the crap out of Soulja, which is good. Doesn't make her heel, people. Soulja's a heel. It just makes her straight edge. Like, she don't give a F. Just like Awesome Kong. Awesome Kong's not heel right now. She's just a bit... she's just crazy. Alright. And the huge brawl to end the broadcast. I hate seeing Main Event Mafia come out on top at the end of the show. I just hate it. You know, it is what it is, but I was so used to these last few weeks. None of that. Something interesting though is that all the talent that was fighting British Invasion and Main Event Mafia and stuff, they were young. AJ Styles, Hernandez, who else was there? Beer Money. Except Team 3. Anyways, real quick update on Angelina Love. It looks like she could get in real big trouble because she wasn't working with a visa for the last 2 years, I guess. So it looks like she could get in real trouble. And she might have to a 10-year ban. 10-year ban from the United States. 10 years. That is insane. Mr. Platinum Man, 1989. Out.